are purchased at gun shows. And because people can go in and buy it with no record kept, no background check, anything like that, and they can hand it off right to one of those people who should not have it, like a convicted felon, a minor, somebody who's mentally ill. Any of those things could happen. One of the lowest rates of crimes that are committed with guns are for people who have concealed weapons permits. To me, that makes a lot of sense to require everybody to have some type of regulation or to have some type of trace on the gun where you can know who's using it, because when people know that you're going to be able to know if they do something inappropriate with it, they're much more likely to do something appropriate. And that doesn't take one single gun away from anybody.
There's been some talk about the constitutionality of bringing up a resolution like this. Are you planning to send the idea to Tallahassee, or what do you hope happens?
Well, I guess on that one, I would just remind people about the First Amendment before they get to the second one. Freedom of speech. I have a right to ask my legislators to do anything that I want. So that it's perfectly constitutional. I've asked our attorneys. It's perfectly legal what I'm asking for. What I want, though, is for Tallahassee to pay attention to the people. The people are asking for help. There's a problem across our state with guns being used illegally. And Tallahassee just says, oh, no, there's no problem. And again, when you go to that gun show loophole, that makes no sense to have totally different regulations for gun shows than you do for a licensed dealer at a store. I mean, that just defies logic. I was speaking to a gentleman who has a gun for protection. We were talking about it, and he was shocked when he realized that gun show loophole was allowed to exist. So a lot of gun owners would agree with me on that. And I believe that's something that would make us safer. I don't think it solves 100% of the problem, but if it solves 10% or 20% or 30%, that's better than it was the day before, and I think that's a good discussion to have. I also advocate some type of local registration, maybe even like what we do on bikes, where people bring them in and register them so that if they're stolen, they can be returned to the owners. It's completely voluntary. I would support something like that for guns. And I also believe that the Brady bill, which banned assault weapons, that came into effect for 10 years starting in 1994, I think that was good legislation. It would have to be updated to list the style of weapons that are available today. But I think that was good legislation. I'd like to see that come back. And